So that's my answer to your question.
Big thanks, and sir, Luke, if one child has maths, history, and music, तो वो क्या बनेगा? So, Luke, and this is one part, and second part, like how you see that evolution of art as a subject after the implementation of NEP, because you are an expert in that field. So, Luke.
Yeah. When it comes to the music and the arts, right up till the 1990s, late 1990s, the music industry was a very unregulated industry in terms of, it wasn't anything fixed in terms of the payment structure or what were the steps required for a person to become successful. So that's why, you could say that it was an unregulated industry. There was nothing to, it was very variable. कुछ fixed income नाम का कोई चीज नहीं था उसमें. And the only way a musician would get a fixed income is if they were to properly become a teacher and join a school or a university. So that's the only way a musician would look at it that way. However, the next 5 years, Rajulji, what's happening is the increasing dominance of streaming content, available all over the world, streaming content of arts and music. There's so much of going along. There's so much being created, and it is being used by apps, and it's being used by technology. This is obviously going to create a new set of entrepreneurs only, and a lot of these entrepreneurs will, really need to see all this content. All this has to be managed. All this music has to be managed online. All this content that is being generated by people just sitting at home also, they're just spending 10 rupees and uploading something or buying an app or something like that, but it needs to be managed somewhere. So in the next 5 to 10 years maybe, technology is obviously going to play a very, very big role when it comes to the vocational studies in the NEP, as well as music, and what's going to happen later on, because it's going to be easier. It's going to be much easier to reach. Even in our own company, in Fataro School of Music, we have seen this year, because of the jump in technology, it's so easy for us to reach out to musical experts and experts in their field, and even celebrities, and it's easier to reach them. So this is definitely going to look a lot better in the next 5 to 10 years for people who are choosing the arts, because the what should I say? Um, the face of the arts is more dominant right now online than anywhere else. It's not dominant anywhere else but online. So it's a good, actually, we are actually looking forward for it, and we are positive about the whole process.
Thank you,
So
Luke.
if I can add one experience of mine, like with your permission,
Sure, sir.
Please, sir.
like one of my student, Mr. Luke, may be knowing him. His name is Gaurav Biswas. He's from Kolkata, and he was my student. Incidentally, I can see
Oh,
his smile.
really? Gaurav
Yeah, and so
Biswas.
he
Yes.
was he was excellent in science and technology, and obviously he was going through that engineering, like pressure from his parents and to become an engineer or something. So he took up music and he took up this channel. He was a marvelous guitarist, like one of the best I've heard, like in his guitar playing. And so now, like, he's a successful person, like taken up music in his career, and rejecting, I would use the word rejecting, the typical science and technology stream, and took up the channel and challenge and become like a, like pretty successful person. He's in China, in working now, and he's in touch with me regularly. So that's an example. And since he's here, so I thought that I'll be giving this example. There are hundreds of
Wonderful,
examples like.
wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you so much, sir. I happen to know Gaurav Biswas, and he's one of our colleagues, and he's
Right,
doing really well in China. Yes.
right.
Wonderful. When they say that the world is really small, so it is really small, right?
Very small indeed.
Absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely. So,
Yes.
big thanks all of you. Poonam ma'am, Abhishek sir, Sunil sir, Luke sir. Big thanks. So now, time to conclude the session. I would request if we can have your quick concluding remarks. I would, request Abhishek sir if we can have your remark first.
Yeah, sure. Like I'll extend what I already said. Like I think these are the platforms where we should be collaborating. It's a time for collaboration because the task is huge, and when the task is huge, we need to distribute the task among ourselves. and we should be collaborating. That the education community are the least united community, I would say. Even they're lesser united than the farmers of India. That's, you may take it as an irony anyway, but they're the most least. There are so many webinars and conferences happening all over India, but still they are least united. I don't know why. That there can be a separate conference on that, why they're not that much united. But this is the time when we require to help each other, and make this NEP, which is a brilliant step by the government, like make this NEP a success. That's what we need to do.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I agree with you, sir, that education institutions are, they are in more isolated, running their operations in that way. So now I would request Poonam ma'am, if we can have your concluding remark.
Yeah, I agree, sir, totally that as educators, we need to take on this task. And if I think we can start from our own schools, rather than looking further first, at least we can start with our own school, our own teacher force, educate them with this. With the various features of the policy, and then they can become our spokesperson. So that way, maybe the community multiplies, and we are able to take it forward, because we have to understand the essence. Otherwise, policies come and go, they die a natural death. So many regulations and things, they don't work out because it is not followed in spirit. So somewhere, if we can understand the two major focus, I would say, one is the child and the other is the teacher here. So if both these aspects, we will be able to understand that from kids' point of view, what is going to work for them and what will be required for a teacher, because the teachers, even if they have the capacity, they need the support, and they also need that one push or a motivation that you call. Otherwise, it is very easy to fall in a kind of a rut when I'm teaching day in and day out the same concepts in the classroom. There is every chance of me slipping down somewhere if there is nobody to egg me on. So at least as leaders, if we can look at our roles also a little more actively, and get our at least teacher force, and then take this, that how I can interact with my colleagues and bring about. And definitely more work is required in the rural area, and looking at our busy schedules, it would be like, if I say that yes, I'll go to the rural areas and do it, I don't know how honest I'm being to myself and to the others also. But somewhere, I think we must start thinking about these things, that the urban schools are able to manage somehow, because of the infrastructure know-how, or they are able to access the places like school Lalaji, and they are able to get the support. But what about our rural schools? So maybe some programs can be there where the urban schools are able to pitch in there. I don't know, it will have to be thought about how we can do that, but I think that will help. But definitely, it's a major shift. We talk about global citizens, we talk about the SDG 4 related to education. But unless things are applied in spirit, things will take time to change. But let's be very positive about it.
Thank you, ma'am. And this is certainly true that the big challenge would be for the rural school. So I believe the one reason for that challenge would be from the parent side. The parents in urban areas, they are more supportive, with reference to the rural parents. So parents in rural areas, they have lack of awareness, their priorities are different. So I believe that multiplies the challenges, right? So now I would request Sunilji, if you can have your concluding remark.
Yeah, this new education policy has it required lot of changes which needs to be done in the education system, and as it has been done after 34 years, and that's why they have brought so many things into it. So, and of course, I think the timeline which they've set for it is also are decent enough. And yes, this is something doable. And as an educationist, you people are educationists, we are the technology people, where we are trying to help, in some way, the schools. And but yes, if the educationists decide and technology will help over there, then we can make it a big success. and it is very positive move, and it can lead our country at par with various developed countries like US, UK, where they have already implemented such kind of things, and they are already 10 to 20 years ahead of us. So it is doable, and we will have to do it. And there are a lot of changes has been done because it has come after so long period. So all these changes were required. So that's all my closing remark, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Sunilji. I would request Luke if we can have your concluding remark.
Sure. Thank you so much. For us, we are just, we want to ask the question that, why hasn't the arts already been integrated into your mainstream academics, even though we all know the merits of music and the arts. So this new policy, for us, we are thrilled about it because we are aware, and we all know the profound impact of music and the arts on a child's wholesome development. So that is all I would like to say over here, and thank you everybody for the amazing thoughts and best practices that everybody has shared, because it's really been a good learning for me today.
Thank you. Thank you once again, Abhishek sir, Poonam ma'am, Sunil sir, Luke sir, for making this session very special. So big thanks and all the participants. So this was for the day. We'll conclude here. Big thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.